gloves are off, the heels are on. It's Let Me Finish with Emmy Award-winning sports reporter Suzy Shuster and senior West Coast editor of Vanity Fair, Krista Smith. It's not easy to get a word in edgewise, but they'll try. And now, here's Krista and Suzy.
Thanks for joining us for Let Me Finish. I don't know about you, Krista, but I am so tired. It has been such a long week of games. I've watched basketball every night. I fell asleep, I have to admit, in the last 4 minutes of the game last night, but I did TiVo. But I mean, how's your week been? I'm exhausted.
You're just exhausted from looking at that ring. Can we just see that ring for a second? You, like, last week.
What, this?
That little ring. How's your engagement to that Russian that just bought the You
mean my boyfriend, Mikhail Prokhorov?
Ah, Prokhorov, and you know how to spell it backwards as well. How's it going? You got LeBron to the Nets yet?
You'd have to spell it backwards and get some double D's. I am not built to be his girlfriend, so I am not.
First the ring, then the boobs.
Don't get all, yeah. Usually it's the boobs and then the ring, but we live in LA, but I digress. How's your week been?
I'll try not to stare at that too much. Week has been good. Watched, I didn't fall asleep in the last 5 minutes of either game, in fact. I was...
well, aren't you smart?
Yeah, I was. I was glued to our television watching it. It's incredible to me. The crazy thing about this basketball finals is I love the rivalry. It's why I love sports. It's my favorite thing about sports. Celtics, Lakers, the story behind it, the cities behind it. You know.
Pierce, nice night from him.
Yeah, nice crotch shot. But I don't get it. The first game, the Celtics don't show up. The second game, the Lakers don't show up. The third game, I just don't understand how it works. It's like finally it felt like yesterday's game was they were actually playing basketball. It was actually a real game for most of the game instead of for just part of the game. But and that's been a little disappointing, but I'm thrilled that it went to Game 4. I love the competition of it. I could watch, you know, as tired as you are of watching it, I could watch like 6 more games.
I'm not tired of watching it, I'm just tired because it's just been so much basketball in 1 week. Of course, the Celtics did go on to defeat the Lakers last night, 96-89, and it was once again the story of the bench. Basically, the Celtics bench just outplayed the Lakers bench, and that is really because of Nate Robertson and also because of Glenn Big Baby Davis. And where else but in the NBA could you ever call a guy Big Baby? I mean, what a joke. And he does look like a big baby.
He's unbelievable, though. When he scored
This is him in 2008, by the way, when the Celtics did win the NBA Finals.
That's fantastic.
But by the way, like, he does look like baby Huey there.
Yeah, Baby Shaq. Looks like a little Baby Shaq to me.
He looks like a big beefy boat right there is what he looks like.
But he didn't look like a big beefy boat. He looked like a ballerina in that fourth quarter. I got to tell you, he was unbelievable. And I loved his the utter, just the
like that, the
spit
rage
coming out of his mouth when he knew what he did for his team. And I think that's amazing, and that's the difference.
These two guys were the difference last night. These two guys coming off the bench because
he's half his height. He's my height.
Well,
Nate Robertson.
Nate Robertson is like Spud Webb. He's a tiny little man. But the difference is, and as Jeff Van Gundy said in the ABC broadcast, as much as we're talking about Rajon Rondo being the guy that starts for the Celtics, has been the whirling dervish that is the Celtics offense with him in play, interestingly enough, Nate is more of a threat. He makes more shots.
He scares me. He already scares me. How can you even see him you're 7 foot tall? How do you even see him?
Rajon
it's like he can go between their legs.
Can I get a word in edgewise?
Sorry.
I'm begging you to let me finish. So he basically can make the shots. What Rajon Rondo does is he penetrates the center and then he dishes out a lot of assists, a lot of boards. But this guy actually means points on the board. And the other thought I had also is that it really shows the difference between the Celtics and the Lakers because Phil Jackson has no confidence in his bench. As I pulled up our trusty box score, I mean, it really it goes to show you that he didn't play Luke Walton at all. And here's a guy who's actually a decent three-point shooter. Phil looks busy. Yes.
Can I say something?
Last thought.
Okay.
DJ Mabanga, the center who didn't play a second, he's good for 5 fouls. They could have gotten him in there and banged around a big body, but no. The Celtics can rest their guys. Kobe can't play the whole game. All these guys can't play the whole game. Lamar Odom was good off the bench. Shannon Brown a little bit, but I mean, it's just a difference.
Well, Bynum. I'm sorry, it's Bynum. I mean, but here's the thing that doesn't match up. Theoretically, the Lakers are supposed to be the much better team, right? Bynum's got what? Fluid drain from that knee before every game. I mean, lucky for him, he didn't have to get on an airplane and fly because that would have made it twice as bad. You go back to LA, that needs he's not going to be able to play in LA. The up and down, it's going to be even more unmanageable. But I thought the Lakers were supposed to be the better team. Why are the Celtics playing like a better team?
Mojo. mojo and what the defense gives them. The Lakers are actually playing good defense, but I really think it's all about Andrew Bynum.
Yep.
So my leitmotifs for this show, or for the Celtics part anyway, is that number one, the Celtics bench is better, and number two, the Lakers are a far better team when Andrew Bynum plays, because there's no answer. Because you've got the whiny Rasheed Wallace in center, and you also have the whiny,
you're right,
miserable bitch of a personality, Kendrick Perkins, who is one technical away from sitting. He's got 6 techs.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He gets another one, he's done.
He'll sit.
He bitches and moans. He's the biggest bitcher and moaner I've ever seen.
But you know what I like? LA celebrities better. There's no celebrities to look at in Boston. None. They don't come up with a Wahlberg. They who is from Boston? Yeah, that's
this is the best they could come up with.
That's it. And they don't even give me, and I could have used a little Kim Kardashian, frankly. I know we're crossing sports and it doesn't really, it's not really PC, but Khloe's not my favorite Kardashian.
She's not your favorite Kardashian?
No, I like Kim.
Yeah. Well, that's because Kim is ridiculously hot.
Gorgeous.
She's
but I'm not so
beautiful.
into Reggie Bush, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, but where's my talent?
Your talent last
I
night
go to LA, I'm a little bored. Ron Artest is pissing me off. I look at, I go to the front row, I see Leo, I see
Your talent last
Zac
night was
Efron.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Dr. J. That's who they showed last night, and that was it. This is from Game 3, and there was a little mutiny in the Boston
Your
Bounty.
ex-husband. Aren't you pissed at him?
My boyfriend, Tom Brady?
Yeah. Your future ex-husband, I should say. Isn't that the way it would work, Rich? Future ex. Yeah. Anyway, can we talk about Tom Brady?
I don't even want to marry Tom Brady. I would like just to
because he's
feel
already
his
married,
chest and then
Suzy,
walk
to
away.
Giselle.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's not going to happen. He's not my type.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
But the truth of the matter is this is a great shot because this caused a ruckus in Boston. But then the weirdest thing is any other person in Boston sports lore would get absolutely just like, you would have every, as my husband would say, every masshole out screaming at Tom Brady, how dare you talk to the enemy? Why are you fraternizing with the enemy? How dare you talk? How dare you talk to Kobe Bryant? He's the enemy, motherfucker. You can't talk to him. But the truth of the matter is,
he talked to him and they lost. But this was they lost.
But get this. He wore a Yankees cap in the New York Post living in Soho.
Yeah, but he's living in New York.
As they say in Boston, that's gay.
Yeah. But he was with Giselle. I mean, and come on, he's not a rocket scientist, Tom Brady. He can't be that good looking and smart. God's fair. Right. God works his own little ways. He gives the brains to someone that doesn't have those looks.
Right.
So he's going to wear the Yankee hat.
But the truth of the matter is that for the guys in Boston, for the
they're
fans, they're
superstars. But that's the difference. I remember a long time ago, the most influential movie I ever watched was Madonna's documentary, Truth or Dare. And one of my favorite comments that she said was, do all famous people know famous people?
Yeah.
She's like, what is Kevin Costner doing coming backstage at my concert and saying, it was really neat? And Madonna's like, really neat? Like, it's the whole thing of that weird fame culture. Right. He's an icon, and he's got 3 Super Bowl rings, and he's got how many? 4?
This is work.
It's icon and icon. They don't care. This is commerce.
But
this
Boston
is ratings.
Doesn't have anything else going on right now. This is war. Sports in Boston is war. I know that sport in Boston is war. I grew up there. I get it.
Then how are you not a Celtics fan?
I'm a front runner.
Oh, let's talk about that. So you're kind of like Jake Gyllenhaal, and you're kind of like Marky Mark.
Never
like
compare
your
me to
zip
Jake
code is
Gyllenhaal.
90210, and you forget about the 617.
Right.
Nice.
How dare
you? 3, yeah. Okay.
You know what the truth is? I never had the accent even growing up there, so I'm a bit of a poser.
You never wanted it. You were in Newbury. You grew up in like Newbury Street, right? Back Bay.
I was in Back Bay for a little bit, but I was. Look,
Dartmouth Street.
This is a whole weird. This is a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But I have to say this, the difference is sports is everything. So, I know.
Yeah,
I'm on the wrong tangent.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I spent so long covering. I was a Lakers beat reporter for 5 years, and so
that's right,
I just know these guys. I'm more.
So
about a team
you're
than I
saying
know the
that LA? So
personalities.
LA we're more used to celebrity, so we wouldn't care if a celebrity out of Boston would be the Kennedys. No, that was a long time ago.
Joey McIntyre.
Oh, okay, Joey McIntyre. Right, we got a ways to go.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Matt Damon would wear a Celtics hat, don't you think?
Well, where is Matt Damon?
Where's Matt Damon?
Where is Matt Damon? Where are Ben and Matt?
I think they're shooting.
Where are they?
Are
They're not there.
Movie?
They're not there.
They could have been there, but what you tell me if they're shooting
they're
a
there
movie?
for a Red Sox
what are they
game.
going to say? Like, let's break down and stop the movie?
Yeah, they're going to fly, and there was a game on Sunday. They don't work on weekends. They're movie stars.
That's your world.
All right, so what's going to happen on Sunday?
Can we talk really quickly? What did you think about the Chloe mask? Did you care? Do you think it
Chloe
was funny?
Mass, I think it was done better with, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I like the Jessica Simpson with the Tony Romo before, but I do agree with them. They're bored and they need some celebrity. I think it was anything they could do there to amuse themselves. So I give them credit.
Game 5, I have no idea.
What's going to happen?
No idea. I have no clue. That's what I love about this. If Andrew Bynum plays, the Lakers win. If he doesn't, they lose.
Wow.
I'll bet you a blow dry.
Bet me blow dry? All right, it's on.
Do you want to take over because I don't know anything about World Cup?
Okay.
I'm going to take a nap
This is the real, now Suzy can take a nap. But here's the thing that I'm convinced, like Louis Vuitton and Hermes, you need to do like a limited World Cup bag, and you actually might get some more
now
interest.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, really? There's an exclusive, you know, you can only 500 made of Birkin bags with the World Cup insignia on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, see, look, now she's paying attention. World Cup, people. It's going on all month. There's 64 games.
What color?
You can watch 1 or 2.
What color?
Any color you want. Custom made, though. I mean, I don't know if you can get one. I don't know if you can get one. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, World Cup, it started, look how beautiful this is. It started in the morning. It's in Johannesburg. If you saw the movie District 9, you'd refer to it then as Joburg, which is in South Africa. It's the first time that an African nation has hosted the World Cup, so it's a really, really big deal because all we're used to hearing about Africa is civil war and AIDS and starvation. And now there's going to be a celebration there for the next month.
And poor Nelson Mandela's great-granddaughter gets
It's only
killed
in Africa, yes, horrible.
So he can't come?
Opening night concert, Alicia Keys and Shakira, and his granddaughter was killed by a drunk driver on the way home. So Mandela, this is a huge achievement for him. He was not there, obviously, at the opening ceremonies. But U.S., I'll keep it short for you, U.S. plays England tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Obviously, it's live in South Africa. Our game, 7 a.m., 10, 2 o'clock, somewhere along those lines. It's a big game. It's huge. You should watch it. I think a lot of Americans, I think it's the big moment to actually get people interested in the game.
Are we any good? Because we
are
really
good.
Never
we are good. We are good. You know who's actually a lot of teams, it's up for grabs. That's Landon Donovan. You probably have seen that face before, right? He's a little short for you.
He was at Lakers games.
He goes to Lakers games. There you go. Good for you, Landon. He's kind of the face of U.S. soccer right now. He's a midfielder striker, and he's not the captain of the team, but he's kind of the leader of the team, the most recognizable face. He has to play well, but it's not as important. Well, he needs to score, basically. But the big guy that I'm obsessed with is this guy, Clint Dempsey, that plays for England. Now, here's the difference. The U.S. has been playing in Europe, like kind of football teams. So, like Clint Dempsey basically has been playing for the Patriots in England. That's the way I can translate it for you. So these guys are actually very competitive, more so than 4 years ago, 8 years ago,
because now they're more
yeah, because they're playing in the Premier Leagues in Europe. Right. So they get the game much better. They're much quicker, much more competitive. He is a phenomenal athlete, and he'll have to play above his DNA tomorrow. And my other favorite is our goalie, who has Tourette's, which is great because this game is being also highly watched with the ref learning English swear words. So I hope he doesn't, his condition doesn't bring about a yellow card. Do you know what a yellow card is, Suzy?
I do. Aren't you allowed 2 yellow cards a game?
Yes, 2 yellow cards a game, and then you're out with red.
I read.
You're allowed 1 yellow card. If you get 2, you're out.
Great article, by the way, in the New York Times this week about how the refs, with all the different languages, having to learn the swears. Because what I didn't realize, actually, was so interesting. I am a bit of a World Cup newbie, but what's so interesting is that you cannot swear at a ref once the refs are on the pitch.
The pitch?
You like that?
Yeah. You're good.
They are, as you said, gods. So they actually have to learn swear words.
There's no instant replay. There's no look at the tape. It's done. The ref it's at his discretion. If he feels you have crossed the line, you've crossed the line. And they're much more elitist on that field, even though these players are not. There's 37 languages spoken basically at the World Cup. 37 languages. So those refs have to be proficient. Someone on that field has to be proficient in at least one. But I love it. They're taking a tutorial on the English swear words, and no one can get a hold of that list. Come on, none of you .com nerds can come up with the 20 words, the 20 things that they're studying.
Tosser,
I can't find it. Yeah. F word, C word. Anyway, he's great. And the other, Wayne Rooney is the English player, who you've probably seen his face. Who's not cute? He's not David Beckham. But he's one hell of a player.
Is David Beckham playing?
No. David Beckham injured his
just left
Achilles
this
and he's
conversation.
out. Yeah, but but he'll be there.
So what? Don't
He would be
care.
on the bench. He'd be riding the pine,
I know,
as you'd
but
like
he's
to
so
say
cute.
it, Suze. But so it's this weekend, so you have to watch it, and I'm going to make you watch.
Okay.
And like I said, there's 64 games you can get in one.
I like it when you say riding the pine.
Right?
It's a good expression.
Riding the pine.
You're
So
riding the
Beckham would have
pine.
been riding the pine.
Speaking of riding the pine, should we move on to one of the weirder stories I've ever seen?
Okay.
Speaking of
bring it.
riding the pine, which is really not about riding the pine, but Frank and Jamie McCourt, the owners of the Dodgers, who are right now in the midst of a contentious divorce, they hired a Russian...
Contentious divorce. They've spent $17 million on lawyers alone. She demanded just under $1 million a month in spousal support. Because that's what you need. Well, no, now you've got the Russian.
Well, she needs a lot of blow dries, and she's got 6 houses.
Yeah, 6 houses. All in like LA too, like Malibu and then 20 feet down.
She has
another
2 in
one
Malibu,
in Malibu
next door
and
to
then-
each other.
Yeah,
She bought Courtney Cox's house for $30 million.
How is Courtney? Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm
Ask
I'm
Robin,
with
she
you.
knows everybody
Yeah.
famous. But here's my thing. They paid this Vladimir Spunt, his name is Vladimir Spunt, and they paid this Russian healer who lives in Boston, who's only
Back
been
to
to
Boston,
one Dodgers
yeah.
game in his entire life. They paid him to channel positive energy in the direction of the Dodgers for 4 hours a day. He said it was so taxing that his blood pressure rose. And they paid him upwards of 6 figures.
6 figures, but he'd have to watch it, Susie, at 10 o'clock at night. He'd have to turn on the game and he'd have to focus, good energy, and then they won 2 games and he got, probably $1 million bonus for that.
But that's normal.
It's totally normal. So is 2
Jamie-
houses in Malibu. But this divorce will take down the Dodgers, by the way, because it's a questionable how much, what is it, $830 million franchise. They tried to get it from Eli Bro. They won it in 2003. They're now divorcing. The best bit about this is she stole Barbara Davis's, who was married to Marvin Davis, who lived in Denver, where the Broncos play. You with me on that? Yeah, okay, anyway.
Was Marvin Davis, what's his deal? Why is he Marvin
was rich.
Davis? He's just rich.
Rich, oil money. So their chauffeur is now her boyfriend. So Jamie McCourt left her husband, theoretically, for Barbara Davis's chauffeur. So it gets better and better.
I kind of like her ingenuity.
And she got fired for being that they were like co-CEOs. But I think the Dodger franchise actually, this thing gets the court, they could feasibly lose the team.
This is just silly.
But this is great because it's what LA, it's what we care about. It makes baseball so much more interesting.
I've met both people. They're perfectly lovely, and I get it. But trying to heal Jason Worth, their former Dodger, and trying to heal, I believe it was his shoulder. His wrist injury now, and they're through alternative healing with
But
this
it's funny because the Mayo
Spunt.
Clinic figured out how to do it, but Vladimir didn't get it.
But how about his name being Spunt?
Yeah.
You can't make that up. Vladimir Spunt.
You'll have to be
what's
proficient
better?
with you when you get married to the other Russians.
To Mikhail Prokofiev?
Yeah.
He's not cute. He's very rich.
Yeah. Listen, stand him on his wallet, he gets taller.
Look what you just did. That's a nice segue. You know why? Let's talk a little bit about Tony Soprano, who's a New Jersey guy. Let's talk a little bit about how Tony Soprano, a.k.a. James Gandolfini, tried to court LeBron James to New York at a I think it was some kind of fundraising event last week in New York. He tried to go on stage and court him to come to New York, not even New Jersey. People are all up in arms because he is Tony Soprano.
In New Jersey, yeah.
He's a Jersey guy who now lives in Tribeca. But he tried to use his position on stage to lure LeBron.
Did LeBron James even know who he is?
Everybody knows.
I mean, that's
don't
the
you
question. I don't know. Is LeBron James watching The Sopranos in Cleveland?
You know what the truth of the matter is?
I kind of wonder.
Sopranos was what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
So he was what, 10?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, no, but literally, is he watching the, I don't know, where do you think LeBron's going today?
Miami. That's just my
You're still
gut.
on Miami.
I like Miami. Or he stays put, but that's so silly to me. Go, fly away, be gone. What do you think?
I think I got to get through this finals right now, but I would love for him to stay in Cleveland. And I'd love for him to win in Cleveland. I'd love for him to bring it home to Cleveland.
We have one more second to talk about something very important, and then we're going to go to things we love. But just mentioning what happened with USC, a verdict came down from the NCAA. USC, very harsh reprimand from the NCAA for issues that happened several years back with Reggie Bush for a lot of infractions
What she's
and
really
violations.
talking about is Blindside. Did anybody see the movie? Anybody see the movie Blindside? Sorry. Blindside. Basically, you know how the whole movie starts with him, and it's in like 2 years later, and then Sandy Bullock's waiting outside for him, and then she goes on to win the Oscar.
He never was.
But I don't understand the NCAA. I don't get it. It's like, how did he not? But what did they not do? They adopted a 16-year-old black child so that he could play for Ole Miss.
But that's totally different.
And that
Reggie
made
Bush's
$1 billion.
mom was a prison guard in Orange County. His stepdad did occasional work.
Blindside guy didn't even have parents. Remember that mom, Taraji Henson?
Don't feel bad for this one. Don't feel bad for this one.
I don't know. Explain it to me. Explain how. And they made I guess it's so prevalent. They made a movie about it.
So what? This is totally different. This is totally different. This is a kid who couldn't wait 6 more months to cash in on the billions coming his way because his mom wanted a new house. Again, prison guards, honorable position, as you said, doesn't make a whole lot of money. They wanted a new house. He was embarrassed to be seen driving the pickup truck that he was driving around campus. He wanted apparently an Impala. Questionable. So Reggie Bush,
that's a great picture.
It's too long a story, but the end of the story is he has screwed the program. They are now nulling the national championship game.
But people hate SC. It's like to me, it's like Gwyneth Paltrow. People love to hate her. People love to hate SC. They really do.
She's annoying.
A lot of
she
people.
Doesn't eat.
Well, she's annoying because she's gorgeous. It's the same thing. This is the guy that I think should be behind bars. I mean, if Lindsay Lohan has to wear a bracelet on her ankle bracelet, why doesn't he? Seriously, how is he not paying any kind of fine for just being a shit? Come on, everyone knows what he's doing. It's just like Lindsay, the same thing. We all know that she's drinking fucking vodka in those water bottles. Right. We all knew that he was guilty, but somehow he gets rewarded with an NFL contract and be a pro coach and take over the Seattle Seahawks. He doesn't even have to change time zones.
I feel bad
and where's
for the
Reggie?
30
Reggie's
kids.
marrying Kim Kardashian.
Do you think?
Absolutely.
I feel bad for the 30 kids who aren't getting scholarships.
So Reggie Bush marries her, and then what? Let me finish for a second, okay? So Reggie Bush is marrying Kim Kardashian, all right? And what happens to Joe Schmo, who turned down Stanford and turned down Michigan and turned down these colleges, has played his whole life, got head concussions, his mother didn't want him to play, yada yada yada. He plays, he gets a scholarship, he goes to SC because that's like playing in the NFL, and he's shit out of luck. What happens to him?
He transfers.
To where?
To another contending school.
And then rides the pine?
No, Krista. It's an exception where they can transfer and he can actually play.
Yeah, but what schools are going to take him?
Oh my God, these schools are chafing. They cannot wait. They're chomping at the bit to get some of these SC recruits.
If it's all it ends well, then I'll be happy.
It's all going to end well.
But I do think that NCAA is kind of, if Vanity Fair cared a little bit more about sports, it's kind of a very interesting story because I think it's so arbitrary the way suddenly now this is a problem where we all have known about it forever.
By the way, love the Sally Quinn. Love the Sally Quinn article.
Yeah.
Bitchy and gossipy. Why hasn't Vanity Fair done this story? This is so up your alley.
Because it's not really, just like you don't care about World Cup, you're kind of our reader.
I am.
You're our reader. So let me just ask you.
My address is, for my free subscription. Should we go to Things We Love?
Well, that's my favorite. Yes, and we're running out of time.
You go first.
I get to go first.
Bauer review.
Yes. All right. This is fantastic. This is why I love sports. People, ready? Is he coming? Things we love? Yes. All right.
This is why you love sports?
This is why I love sports.
All right.
2 words for you people. Tom Cruise. I don't know if anybody saw this, but this was at the MTV Awards. That's Tom Cruise. There's no stunt double in there. Look how great that is. Did you see this? It's fantastic. Playing the character that he did out of Tropic Thunder with J-Lo comes out here in a bitch and dances with him. And I love this. He's playing this crazy, loudmouth, aggressive producer we could named after, modeled after many fictitious Hollywood loudmouth, aggressive producers. Anyway, I love it because he's 47 years old. We remembered him from like jumping on couches and Freaky Sci-Tie. What does it all mean? And the guy's got a huge movie coming out, and he's out here killing it with teenagers. And I love him.
All right. I still don't get why this is why you love sports, but you know.
Because on any given day, anybody can win. And look, today Tom Cruise won. How's that?
That was really well put.
Right? He wins, and I'm going to go see. You know what? There's the World Cup, and there's the finals, and there'll be more games and more World Cup for another month. But I'm going to take time out to see Night and Day because I like Tom Cruise and I like Cameron Diaz.
I get it. I'm going to give the 1 second shout out to the NHL. The Chicago Blackhawks did win the Stanley Cup, highest ratings in the last 30 years, and it's been craziness. But look at Jeremy Roenick, former Blackhawk,
Look at that
I love
face.
this man. Well, he's hot.
Speaking of Tom
you should have
Cruise, he
seen him
looks
when
great.
he played. He was
Look
an
at that
enforcer.
hair.
But my whole
gorgeous.
point is, the guy teared up talking about the NHL, and it's okay for him to cry. He's such a man. NHL
But look at the
players,
bro slap. That's like snap out of it.
Mike Milbury's like,
He
hey,
just gave
don't
him that
be a wussy.
snapped, and the other guy snaps out.
Right, but you know what? This is a special moment in sports. His former team finally won the Stanley Cup, and I say bravo, Jeremy Roenick, for being a man and showing emotion, and that to me is what sports is all about. That's a thing of beauty, and he's hot.
And he's hot. He is hot. Is he hotter
so
than
cute.
Brett Favre?
Totally different, but hockey guys are very manly.
But they don't have any teeth.
They have no teeth.
No teeth. That's okay.
They have no teeth. That's
All right,
a
we are
freaky
out of
locker room.
time. Teeth or no teeth, we are out of time. Thank you for stopping by our living room here at the Room Live.
We'll see you next week for Let Me Finish.